overall thoughts on the weekend, 4-1?
Yeah, excited for us to start PAC. I can't believe we're already here. Every year goes fast, but I feel like this year it's gone really fast. I think about our team right now, and I think they're in a really good place, and they are prepared and are ready to take on the PAC.
Did you get out of non-conference what you might have hoped?
Yeah, we did. We did. It's funny. You always go into it thinking one way and what you expect to happen, and then you come out of it, and it's, it's different. So, but very good. I think if you asked this team what their identity is, if you asked, the culture of this team, if you asked, just different things, they would be able to rattle off answers. Like, I think they know the answers and they know what it takes and that they're in a good position to compete.
How would you answer?
Huh?
How would you answer?
How would I answer?
Yeah,
identity. That their identity is them, that they play for themselves. And that's what the most important thing is that they understand how to win different ways, whether that's obviously knowing that defense and pitching give us a chance to win the game, but then offensively we could win with power, we can win with small ball, we can win with situational. Like, we have multiple ways to win. That we've have the best depth that we've had, since we've been here as well. And that they've played a tough schedule and have beat ranked opponents, which we haven't done in the past. So I think that puts them in a really, really good position to start the PAC.
You were able to get some extended innings out of Reggie and Morgan. Obviously, that first outing with Morgan wasn't what you would hope for, but I think shaking the cobwebs out, getting that experience on the mound or in the circle again, how would you describe what you were able to see, the development, I guess, or what you saw from the beginning to the end of it?
Yeah, I think Morgan against LMU, you got to see what Morgan is capable of, like what we know Morgan can do. I feel like everybody else got to see it. She throws the ball really hard. She's got good, great movement. She works fast off the mound. Like, I have to keep up with her. Like, she's looking at me ready for the signal. Like, come on, coach, let's go.
Tara was just talking about that.
Okay.
Have you guys had to adjust to that, and what was it like to just getting used to the way she likes to work?
Yeah, I gotta go. I gotta move. That is like, she'll throw the pitch, and she's throwing the pitch, and I'm already looking, and I look up, and she's like, come on, coach, let's go. What do you got? So, but that's the pace that she likes to work at, and that's fine. Each one of them work differently. So it's just understanding, I think, each pitcher and their pace. But yeah, she works at a pretty fast pace.
Presumably, you're still able to process pitch calling and all that.
Yes.
At her speed, but it has been a little different.
Yeah, I gotta move faster for sure.
Was there anything specific said after that Minnesota game? I mean, that team that came out, I mean, maybe like recorded that speech and you're going to give it every game or something. Because the team that came out really performed well. After
Minnesota? Yeah, it stinks because we want to win every single game, right? I mean, that's what you want to do. But it's amazing what losses do for you. Sometimes you win and things could maybe not necessarily be right, but you're winning. So you just kind of, we're fine. But when you lose, there's something, we're not getting something done or we would have won the ball game. So I think losses allows us to reflect a little bit and see what was the reason that we lost? What did we need to do to win? Like, we didn't do enough. So I think the one thing that this group does is they really learn from our losses. You can see that because every time we lose, we've got a really good bounce back. And I think going into PAC, that loss allowed them to see, that there's things that we need to be better with in order to handle what's ahead. And so sometimes you got to take a loss. And I think for us to grow from it and be better for it, I don't want to lose. They don't want to either, but sometimes that's just a part of it.
Who's been watching just you guys from afar. I mean, what Stevie's done and kind of bouncing back in the opening weekend and the groove she's in seems pretty impressive. How would you describe the way she responded to that and has gotten herself into just such a good place the last few weeks?
Yeah, I think early on, that first weekend, I think she just put a lot of pressure on herself, which happens. I think our athletes, they put more pressure on themselves than anybody else could ever do, And I think once she just kind of got back to being her and doing what she knows what to do. You're seeing her thrive right now. I think she's worked hard in the summer and in the fall, maybe adjusting a couple things that she needed to. And I just think she's very confident right now, has good command, knows what she wants to do. So
how important is it to have a pitching staff that can keep you in games? Because the last time the team's given up 4+ earned runs was the first inning of the season. So how important is it to have a pitching staff that continues to keep her team in it?
For sure. I think our pitching and defense, it's give us a chance to win, just give us a chance to win. I don't need our pitchers to strike everybody out, but if they can do a good job of working ahead, having good competitive counts, closing things out, letting the defense work behind them, we're going to win a lot of games and we're going to be pretty successful. And I think that's what we got to see in this first segment of our season, is that we do have a pitching staff. And I think, you see each one of them being fresh and being able to do what they need to do. It's because of the ones around them. Every time Stevie steps on the mound, she's fresh because of what Reggie is doing, and also because of what Morgan is doing. So I think it's important that we have a staff.
As a veteran team, you've talked about how it's the way you coach is different because they're beating themselves. They're putting that pressure on themselves, like you said. How much at times do you have to kind of have them take that back a little bit, or is that, if they're putting so much pressure on themselves, how do you continue to coach them and push them forward?
Yeah, no, and I don't think overall this team is like really pressured. I'm thinking more of just Stevie, her first week, and I think she put a little pressure on herself. I think more than anything with this team, I don't think they're putting pressure on themselves. I think it's just them understanding that, like, every time we step on the field, we should walk away better than we were. And I think that's what they're seeing. And they're seeing that, each weekend we're better than the weekend before, and that we have to continue to do that. When we have opportunities to beat a ranked team, we have opportunities to put a team away, we need to do it, So I think they're just understanding how to go about their business, how to be efficient with what they're doing.
How important is it to have clutch hitting? Because there's been 3 6th or 7th inning go-ahead hits in tie games with the last 2 weekends. How important in those moments is it to get players on base, continue to pass the bat, and score and take the lead?
Yeah, I think it's really important. I think that shows you that they never think that they're out of a game, and I think that's just kind of like we've been doing this for a couple of years now. We always hit well with 2 outs, and we know how to score runs late when we need to. And so I think that's a good, strong foundation of this program. They're never out of the ball game, and that's they compete from from the first inning to the last.
You talk about kind of playing for each other and having fun, but also the maturity to process losses and learn from them, and stay confident, stay aggressive. We talked early in the season about having kind of a postseason mentality right from the start. Does that all fit into that? Is that what kind of that looks like, balancing all those different things?
Yes, for sure. Because it's when you get to postseason, I think you get even more caught up in your team than you were before. But you just get so caught up in all that matters is we win. We just find a way to win. Like, you don't get caught up in your statistics and what you did that day. You don't get caught up in if you blooped a hit, your pump that you blooped a hit because it allowed our team to win. Where maybe earlier in the year, you're mad that you blooped a hit. You just get really caught up in your team and finding a way to win and knowing you're going to win. So to be able to have that mentality out of the gates, that was really important for us. And I just think that's why we've been successful.
You've given Tara a few days off behind the plate, put her at DP. What goes into your philosophy in terms of taking care of her body as a catcher while continuing to keep her in the lineup?
Yeah, I think just that, she's behind the plate, and then at times we have the opportunity to put her in as the DP and put Val or Carissa behind the plate, which both are very good catchers as well. I think we need that. I think it'd be tough for her to catch every single game. I think it'd be for any catcher difficult to catch every single game. So again, I think that just shows our depth as a team.
Speaking of that depth in the outfield, you've rotated between Alyssa and right, where you've swapped Ariel over to left field. And put Kyla on the bench to start a game. What has gone into your sort of management of the outfield this season?
Yeah, I think it's just strategy. I just think matchups, who we're going to play, how we match up, and, who we would have in. And from there, whoever's in, what's best defensively.
This weekend, you start off with one of the best teams in the Pac-12. Out of the top 4 in RPI, outside of yourself, you play the top 3 in the opening 3 Pac-12 weekends. How is it hitting the ground running in the conference schedule compared to the non-conference slate you just went through?
I just look at the Pac now. It's, this weekend is our first super regional of many to come. And so I think what we've done up to this point to prepare for our first super regional, I like, and I'm excited to see this group get out there and compete.
Is it a playoff mentality from conference play until the end of the season?
Yeah, I think it should be a playoff mentality from our first game on. And I think in years past, we've had to gain that mentality throughout it took us throughout the year to gain that, where for this team, they understand how to go to that immediately from, that first weekend out.
Could you speak to your feelings? Version 5, Caitlynn's been here all 5 years.
Mm-hmm.
What you were thinking as you saw her get that first hit and then that first home run?
Yeah, her first hit, I love how she was battling in the box. She ended up getting 2 strikes, and I'm just like, there's no way she's going to be denied. You could just see it. She was determined, and I thought she had a great at bat and, went oppo with the base hit. And then to see her hit that bomb, it was awesome. As coaches, we coach these guys on the field, and I think people get caught up in how much we coach them on the field. But to me, it's about how we coach them in life. And to see Caitlyn her freshman year and just watch her transform and from a young girl into a young woman, from her freshman year to her 5th year, that's why I coach. It's for moments like that to see her not always get opportunity and be an unbelievable teammate. And she's a leader on this team, and what she's done to help build our culture and everything that she's done for this team. And then to get her opportunity to have her moment. I think all of us were just going crazy for her, and just, of course we should be. So I was just excited for her.
What do you recall about just her evolution from, at some point you needed some players on a team,
Yeah.
and she answered the call there,
Mm-hmm.
to being somebody who actually meant a lot to your program and could contribute on the field in some way. What was that evolution like over her first year or two in your recollection?
I just remember her just being a young freshman, just trying to figure it out. She came on board with us in January, and we were leaving a couple weeks later. And just for her to be able to just get it together quickly and start traveling with us and just fit in, Caitlyn, what's awesome about her is that she's that person that everybody likes. She's just a great person. She's so caring, and she's such a good friend. She's an unbelievable worker. She does everything the right way. And, I think about what we've built here in these 5 years, and she has everything to do with it. She's a huge part of that. And I will forever be indebted to her. I think of senior day this year, and I don't even want to think about it yet because I'm not ready for her to go and these others. I'm excited for what's next, but I just think about how much they've meant to our program and what they've done for us. And it's awesome.
But some of those positive qualities were apparent really quickly, it sounds like.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. It's like you think as a coach, it's like you want to get the best players that you can possibly get. But to me, it's more than that. You want to get athletes, but athletes that fit your program and fit into your culture and are going to grow your culture and leave your, program better than they found it. And that's what I believe in with Kate. And with Tara and Bunk, those 3 have been here since the very, since the beginning. So I'm proud of her, and she's got more to do. She's got more to do this year, and I can't wait to see it.
As you go into this weekend, early thoughts on Washington?
Yeah, Washington, great program. They that's a storied program. Their offense is great, defense is great. They always pitch well. I just feel like what I say about them, I'm going to say about them, and I'm going to say about our next opponent and our next and our next. It's just, that's the Pac. But I believe that we're all here for that because we want to compete, in the PAC and compete against the best every single weekend. So